Hello there, you're watching Vnews Bulletin. I'm Vungo presenting you today top stories as usual.
Prime Minister emphasizes training of high-quality human resources for agriculture. Vietnam seeks to advance gender equality. Ha Long Bay listed among 10 most beautiful places in 2022.
General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng chaired the 22nd meeting of the Central Steering Committee for Corruption and Negative Phenomena Prevention and Control in Hanoi on August 17th.
Party General Secretary Nguyễn Phú Trọng has called for work to be accelerated to perfect the party and political systems, socio-economic management, and the fight against corruption and negative behaviors. He ordered the investigation, prosecution, and trial of cases under the watch of the committee, striving to finish investigating 14 cases, prosecuting 20 others, holding first instance trials for 25 cases, and appeal trials for 5 others later this year. He said the quality and efficiencies of inspections, supervisions, and audits must be improved, focusing on fields of public concerns and pros to negativity. He said it's necessary to continue improving the efficiencies of awareness campaigns among personnel, party members, and people about integrity and anti-corruption. He called for drastic and synchronous changes in combating corruption and negative behavior from the grassroots levels.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc hosted a reception for former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak in Hanoi on August 17th.
President Nguyễn Xuân Phúc said that Israel has become an important partner of Vietnam in the region. In the first 6 months of this year, two-way trade reached $1.14 billion, up 55%. He urged the two countries to boost trade ties in the future. The state leader expressed his desires to learn from Israel's experience in cyberspace governance, human resource training, and talent development. Former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak said there remains room for cooperation between the two countries. He said as Vietnam and Israel have reached a free trade agreement, relations will not only be promoted between the governments but also among businesses. He also said he believes that Vietnam has the conditions to rise strongly and become a developed country by 2045.
Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính reaffirmed the importance of developing high-quality human resources for agriculture while attending an innovation event and job fair of the Vietnam National University of Agriculture in Hanoi on August 17th.
The government leader visited an exhibition of scientific and technological models and products by the university's businesses and partners. In his remarks, Prime Minister Chính affirmed that agriculture is an advantage of Vietnam and agricultural development is one of the essential tasks in the country's socio-economic development strategy. He highlighted the party and state's attention to developing high-quality human resources for agriculture, as well as startup and innovation. Prime Minister Chính asked the university and other establishments of higher education to align their curricular and training methodology with the reality, while continuously improving training and scientific research quality to better meet the market's demand. He called for the development of an innovation ecosystem and further encouragement of students' entrepreneurship, adding that students should equip themselves with professional and social knowledge and skills to adapt to an open and competitive market.
The permanent mission of Vietnam to the UN, the World Trade Organization, and other international organizations on August 16th hosted a get-together with their Laos counterparts in Geneva to mark the 60th anniversary of the two countries' diplomatic ties from September 5, 1962 to 2022.
The event also aimed to celebrate the 45th year of the Vietnam-Laos Treaty of Amity and Cooperation, July 18, 1977, 2022. In her opening remark, Ambassador Lê Thị Tuyết Mai, permanent representative of Vietnam in Geneva, described the special bond and comprehensive partnership as a priceless property shared by both countries. She urged young diplomats present at the event to inherit what their successors have done to further promote the long-standing bilateral relationship and make it stronger to bring benefits to both peoples. Addressing the event, Lao Ambassador Lassami Kelmani said the two missions have been coordinating at multilateral forums and in performing their duties in Geneva for years. This reflects the special ties between the two countries and have reinforced the loyal friendship between their peoples, the diplomat added. Leader and staff of the two missions later together enjoyed music and dance performances, highlighting the Vietnam-Laos ties as well as traditional cuisine.
Regulators, civil society organizations, and the private sector put forth various recommendations to strengthen financial resources to promote gender equality in Vietnam during a conference in Hanoi on August 17th.
They suggested ways to apply gender-responsible budgeting, ensure that the needs of women, men, and others are fully considered throughout the budget cycle, and reinforce supervisions by the communities, such as civil organizations and people, over public investment budget allocation from a gender perspective. The Conference on Strengthening Financial Resources to Advance Gender Equality in Vietnam was held by the Ministry of Planning and Investment, the Institute for Development and Community Health, in collaboration with the UN Entity for Gender Equality and the Empowerment of Women under the UN Joint Program for supporting Vietnam towards the 2030 Integrated Finance Strategy for accelerating the achievement of Sustainable Development Goals. The conference focused discussion on the roles that stakeholders, including the private sectors and civil society organizations, play in enhancing financial resources for gender equality, as well as challenges facing the process.
The Ministry of Health has warned of a spike in the number of new COVID-19 infections as well as critical cases.
Over the past week, Vietnam has recorded an average of 2,000 new COVID-19 cases each day. More than 100 seriously ill COVID-19 patients are being treated at hospitals. The increase will cause overload for a health system, particularly in the context of the outbreak of other diseases such as dengue fever, influenza A, and hand, feet, mouth, according to the ministry. The ministry said it will continue closely watching the development of COVID-19 pandemic and regularly evaluate and analyze the situation in order to build plans and scenarios to respond to any outbreak in a timely manner. The national COVID-19 case load in Vietnam now stands at more than 11.2 million, according to the Ministry of Health. The total number of recoveries rose to over 10 million. There are 106 patients in serious conditions needing breathing support. The country has so far administered more than 251 million doses of vaccines.
8 Vietnamese handicraft exporters are introducing their products at the New York Now exhibition that is underway in New York, the U.S., with the participation of about 950 businesses from 35 countries.
The products include toys, gifts, and household items that are handicrafted from natural materials such as silk, rattan, bamboo, wool, and ceramic.
This is a good opportunity for businesses to return to the market. Through the exhibition, we hope to maintain and expand the relations with our clients.
Export revenue from the products grew about 9.5% per year to about $2.2 billion recently, making the products one of the 10 product groups with highest export revenue of Vietnam. The U.S. is the largest market of Vietnamese handicraft products, accounting for 35% of total export revenue.
I hope Vietcraft will continue to work closely with Vietnamese representative agency in the U.S. to expand Vietnamese handicraft market share in the country, contributing to creating jobs and promoting sustainable rural development of Vietnam.
The product in Vietnam is really unique, and Vietnam can do things like woven and capes and inlay so much better than anyone else in the world. It's very special, and it always stands out on our sales floor.
Vietnam first joined the biannual New York Now exhibition in 2004 as part of a national trade promotion program held by the Ministry of Industry and Trade.
Apple is in talks to make Apple Watches and MacBooks in Vietnam for the first time as the US tech giant looks to diversify production away from China, Nikkei Asia reported.
According to the newspaper, Apple suppliers Luxshare Precision Industry and Foxconn have started test production of the Apple Watch in northern Vietnam with the aim of producing the device outside of China. Regarding the production of MacBook, Apple has asked suppliers to set up a test production line in Vietnam. However, progress in moving mass production to the country has been slow, partly due to pandemic-related disruptions. Vietnam is already Apple's most important production hub outside of China, producing a wide range of flagship products for the American company, including iPad tablets and AirPods earphones. Apple has also continued to ship iPad production to Vietnam in an effort to diversify its production. In addition, the group is also in talks with suppliers to build a trial production line for its HomePod smart speaker in Vietnam.
The southern province of Bến Tre, known as Vietnam's coconut capital, is seeking ways to support local farmers to sell coconut products amid dropping prices.
Among others, the province authorities have helped exporters join trade promotion delegations to foreign countries like Turkey, Israel, South Africa, India, Pakistan, and Japan in order to meet big distributors there. Local firms have also been supported to ship their products to China. The province will organize a number of workshops on cross-border e-commerce in early August to help boost the export of local staples. Domestic consumption is also given with due attention from the authorities. With 77,000 hectares of coconut, Bến Tre earns $350 million each year from coconut exports, making up around 30% of its total export revenue. The local agricultural sector urged farmers to expand organic coconut farming, which now accounts for only 20.7% of the total area, and participate in cooperatives to develop large-scale material areas.
Vietnam, a rising star in the global supply chain, has the potential to become a new tiger in Asia. Economist Brian Lee Shan Rong at Maybank, Malaysia's largest financial services group and the leading banking group in Southeast Asia, has reportedly said.
The economist affirmed that Vietnam will become a new tiger of Asia after the Republic of Korea, Singapore, and China's Taiwan and Hong Kong. According to data from Maybank, both FDI influx into Vietnam and its export turnover in the past 10 years are bigger than those of all other Southeast Asian countries. In particular, the electronics and phone industry has surpassed garment and textiles to become the biggest contributor to the total export value. This shows that Vietnam has enhanced its position in the global value chain, said the expert, adding that the productivity of its workers also grows faster than that in other ASEAN countries. To become a tiger of Asia, the economist noted Vietnam should have one standard infrastructure and skilled workforce, support domestic enterprises in improving their foothold in the global supply chain, and step up growth based on digital transformation.
Canadian travel publication The Travel has listed Ha Long Bay of Vietnam as one of the world's 10 most beautiful places in 2022.
The bay in the northern province of Quảng Ninh, together with Cambodia's Angkor Wat Temple complex, are the only two Southeast Asian representatives to break into the list. The best way to experience this mist-shrouded landscape is to board a junk and sail through the outstanding scenic beauty, the magazine said. The rising popularity of Ha Long Bay, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, has prompted travel agencies to develop a wide range of cruises from budget to high-end, including half-day and overnight trips, it added. The magazine also advised tourists to drop by Thiên Cung Heron Grotto, one of the biggest caves in Ha Long Bay, and Sửng Sốt Surprise Cave that give way to impressive sweeping views of the water below.